Hi, I'm Aniq.
I'm Clemens.
Welcome to Real Shit.
If you're talking about the best shoot that we've ever had, right, I can easily remember back in COVID, I had this client in the Europe, in UK, and they were this marketing company and they were very chill. They just wanted like some marketing videos based in Singapore. And they said, hey, we want 8 videos. We shot the videos in a day. We edited it the next day. We sent it over to them and they were like, videos are good. Let's wire you the payment now, And that's just 2 days, 5 grand. That's pretty easy work. And it's always these clients with like this high budgets and they're so chill about everything, They're just like, I know what I want. I know what you can deliver to us. We just get it done and project closes super fast.
So we went overseas to go shoot this campaign video for them. It was quick, like a few videos for it, for marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
So like the whole process was so chill, like exactly like yours, like your client. The whole shoot, they were all like just giving really good feedback straight away. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Just straight. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. Like that's a good idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of working with them, it was perfect. Like the scenery was good, everything was perfect about it. And then straight away after that, like you said, wired straight away.
Right.
Wired straight away.
No delays. So we were talking about clients that were very difficult to work with. I've had experience back then when I was first starting out, right? So we were supposed to shoot 20 videos, and because I was starting out, our budget was very low. It was like about 2 grand or so. And we got a deposit of 500. So we went down and we shot all 20 videos that day. I went back to edit. I sent over it was the first video, I'm not even joking, the first video to the client, and she was like, I don't really like this, it's not my thing. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I was like, okay, it's okay if the first version of the video is not good. This is very normal because the vision sometimes just don't align, right? So we just go back and change that, but she was like, no, I don't wanna invest any more time or money into this, and it was just dead afterwards. So she just ghosted us. We lost that 1,500 and we did a day's worth of work for nothing, and it was just 500 bucks. So all I did was, okay, I have a team of 3 people that day. So I was like, okay, I'm not just paying my guys, man. I can't do anything. So I essentially lost money that day, but that was when I was starting out. So that made me learn a lot of things about how to manage client expectations and budgeting stuff, signing contracts, making sure that the client follows through, right? Because contracts at the end of the day isn't just to protect the client, it's also to protect ourselves. Yeah, and I think that's very important. That's a very important lesson that I learned.
As we were starting out, we had this one client. It was really rude, first of all. Very rude. We were meant to shoot 3 months worth of content.
Yeah.
Suddenly, gone. Finished. So in terms of budgeting, everything just finished, gone. And I had a whole team working, like as you said as well, like I'm not taking any of this money, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I made a big loss, a very big loss. Yeah. It was full on, like I think it was a 4-day shoot, and then the client was there. Not only was he rude, he was asking so many questions. I mean, obviously questions aren't like, I'm not saying it's wrong. Yeah, 100%. Like ask as much as you want. He ran off everything with some of the content. Posted it. I think it was a month ago. I saw on his page.
Oh man.
It is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the first thing I'll tell myself when I was younger, don't mix in with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But the thing is, by saying that, it's a thing where if I didn't mix around with that crowd, I wouldn't learn a lot of things, like really big components in life if I didn't go through with them. Like, first of all, business. I wouldn't have learned that. And another thing is obviously time.
Yeah.
Like, you spend most of your early days wasting your fucking time. People will say, I'm still in my 20s, it's fine, I'm still in my 30s. But it doesn't give you a reason to just fuck around. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, like, to chill and, as I said before. But at some point, you're gonna have to have a reality check. A reality check. And just tell yourself, bro, like, what am I doing? Like, you know what I mean?
At one point of your life, you're gonna have to wake up and realize that this isn't how you want to live for
Yes,
the
100%.
next few decades,
100%.
right? You got to realize like, hey, you know what? I want to progress in my life. I want to improve myself, and I can't be fucking around every day, right?
100%.
It's great to enjoy your youth. It's perfect. I advocate to enjoy your youth, but there must be that balance,
100%.
right? Between enjoyment and work and fulfillment, right? And fulfillment can come from enjoyment and work.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of things. That's something that not a lot of people get. They think fulfillment means I gotta go out every night. At one point, you're gonna realize, be it in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you're gonna realize that I can't keep doing this anymore. And the earlier you have this realization, this reality check, the better, right? And that way you can still, find that fulfillment in work. You can still continue, getting your money up, figuring out how you want to live life, but you can also enjoy at the same time.
Yes.
And that's the balance we want to strike. Time is the most valuable currency out there, right? Because you can't buy time. You can't, just get it from anything. You have a set period of time that you get from the day that you are born and the day that you die. And every second you lose time. You lose a second, you lose a minute, right? And you can't get it back. So how are you gonna use your time to better your life? How are you gonna use your time to better others? Right? And because it can't just be about ourselves. Fulfillment also comes from, making other people's lives better. Be it just a friend, be it your significant other, be it an entire country or the entire world. It doesn't matter, because as long as it's one person, it's good enough.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
And one advice I would give myself when I was younger, when I was first starting out, I think, was to you gotta try everything out. If you're talking technical, when you're on set, you gotta try every single role, so you kind of understand how it feels like, like how does it feel like to be a director, a producer, a cameraman, so that when you specialize in one role in the future, you understand, you can empathize with another role. Like, why is my cameraman saying this thing? Why is my producer doing this thing? And you understand because you were there once, and it makes the whole experience a lot smoother because you realize that's why they're saying that. And a lot of people don't have this because they, right off the bat, they go straight into one role, and then they always complain, why does my director keep saying this? Why does my director keep doing this, right? Another advice that I would have given myself, definitely, was similar to what you said, is mixing with the correct crowd, right? And there's always this three different tiers, I would say. There's the people in a sense lower than you, right? Maybe the people starting out, lesser experienced, or maybe less mature in life. And of course, there's your peers, the people around you, the people that you work with most of the time. And there's of course the people above you, the OGs, the people who have been doing this for years, decades, and even your teachers. And I think it's very important to mix around with all three, right? One of my first few teachers in life, a phrase that he told me that stuck with me for almost a decade now was, if you want to be a lion, don't play with the cubs. If you want to be good, you want to be big, you gotta stick around with the correct crowd, the people who are better than you, and that way they can uplift you, you can learn from them, right? You can make those mistakes, they can scold you, but you understand and you learn.
But we never thought about it that way as a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never did. But now we're starting to realize. You know what I mean? My mom always told me, when you grow up, you're gonna realize. When you grow up, you're gonna understand.
Yeah, for sure, man. And
she was right.
ultimately, you must have that balance between mixing around with all three types of tiers of crowds, right? But I would say the most important is to mix around the people higher than you.
Yes.
When you mix around with your peers, that's one of the best parts of your life because you can bounce all these ideas, you can work with your friends. And when you work with people who are in a sense lower than you can inspire them, right? So that when you move up a tier, you move up into the next generation, that's when you can inspire the people that were once in your position. And I think that's a very beautiful part of life in general.
100%.
Yeah.
Networking is really important. You know what I mean? Especially in our industry, you got to mix around, collaborate. Collaborate's a really important thing. It's a thing where you're never going to learn without getting intel from people who have already been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to know people. It'll get you very far in life. So in terms of, I went to events. What you could do is I went to events. I went to socializing. All of that stuff. I met people even at the cafe. I talked to the manager. I asked, who's the boss? Who's the So I try to find out who's above me. Yeah. I try to network with them. I try to talk to them.
The number one advice I would give for people who want to start out in our industry is you just gotta fucking start, man.
Just
you know?
start.
You just gotta start, because
Just start.
at the end of the day, if you know you're already gonna go into this industry,
Yeah.
then just fucking go in earlier. Just start earlier. Start now. Start today.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Don't even think tomorrow. Tomorrow is relative. There's always gonna be tomorrow.
Yes.
If anything, if you're younger, you have the privilege of being young.
Yes.
Right? You don't have so much responsibilities on you yet. You don't have that family. You don't exactly have that house. You can operate out of a basement. You can operate out of your room, and everything is covered for. You know, you have your parents that can help you out on things, and that's where you can really start. That's where you can blossom. And
communication and understanding.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Two really main factors in a relationship. You got to go off by that. So in terms of feedback, not to be rude, not to be, stuff like that. It's really important. You know what I mean? But what about you?
I think communication and understanding is very basic.
Yep.
Right? It's the most fundamental things of running a business, or even like just marketing, generating leads, or just client satisfaction. The problem that we face nowadays, the young bloods in the industry don't know how to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're terrible at it, but I've seen so many cases where clients come to me and they say, I worked with this guy, terrible. Couldn't understand shit, couldn't communicate to me that he couldn't do this or he wanted to do this, and then the whole thing just fell apart. And then they come to me and say, can you salvage this? I say no. I think a green flag in a client definitely is having that creative control, right? There is always that balance between the client wants something. They usually will come to us with a vision in mind, right? Without a vision from the client's end, it's very difficult for us to translate that, right? So they have to give us like a little bit of a brief. As long as they know something, just a little bit about what they want. They want 10 videos, they want it revolving around a certain topic, we can do something. But when they give us too much of a restriction in that sense, like I want it to be this way, this exact same way, they send us this reference and I want you to copy the whole thing. And then for us as creative people, we feel like we are just robots. We just have that technical knowledge that we can provide you, but you aren't making full use of our creativity, our artistic value that we can provide you.
Referring to client, I'd say micromanaging, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's what you say these days, an ick. It's a big ick. You have to let the creators work.
Yes,
you got to let them work, let them experience. That's what I would say. Especially with my team, I just let them do it.
Yeah.
If there is something you want to change at the product, change it. You know what I mean? We can make a few tweaks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But don't go ahead and like if you're gonna micromanage, at least you could do is be respectful.
I think a lot of clients have the misconception that once they're paying us, right, we are their slaves.
Yep.
We do everything that they want, we do their bidding. That is correct to a certain extent. Definitely you're paying us, we have to do what you want.
Yes.
Right. But you can't just order us around, as if you are your helper.
Yeah, 100%. Because we are the professionals.
Yeah.
You're hiring us because you don't have the time to build the skills that we have. How are we gonna grow your business? How are we gonna, in your terms, like make everything look good? If you're not gonna let us, you know what I mean? If you're gonna do like what you want.
Yeah.
Because what you want, as we said before, it's not gonna work for you. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we know what works best for you. We know what will work best in your industry and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, honestly, for me, like I feel the biggest red flag in a client is very similar. I think the biggest telltale sign that I can always see in a client being a future red flag is when the planning process is dog shit. Right? When they have no plans at all. So when they tell us, hey, we want you to shoot this thing, and I ask them, all right, this project is rather big. We're looking at like a $5,000, $10,000 project. Do you have a script? They're like, we're just gonna,
Wing it.
We're just gonna fucking we're just gonna wing it, like let's just show up on the day. Let's see what works, and I'm like, no. You need to have that plan. Like you need to have that pre-production planning so that you have a sensing of what you want to do on set.
Exactly.
So that when you're on set, you want to make those minor tweaks, those works because you have a framework. You have this skeleton to work around.
Yes.
You don't just turn up there and you're like, all right, what do you want to do?
Because that makes an agreement between both us and the client beforehand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that way, the end product won't be like, oh, oh, I want to change.
Yeah.
It's our time at the end of the day. It's your time at the end of the day. We don't want to waste both of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. If we don't have that pre-production planning, that preparation, when we're on set, right, and I've faced this many times, we have the client looking at us or being very close to us, or they're even micromanaging, right? I've had many instances few years back of clients like coming so close to me because they want to see what's happening on my camera. They want to see how the video looks like as I'm filming it, right? We're not even talking about like, okay, after we're done with the shot, can we play that back? You know, can we take a look at that video clip? That's fine, no problem, but they are coming close to me. I can feel their shoulder touching me. I can feel that breathing on my neck, right? And I'm like, yo, give me some space, man, you know?
100%.
And that's the whole reason why I bought a director's monitor. So the client, or you, the director, doesn't have to be next to me. You can stand over there. I can transmit my signal over to you. You can see what I'm seeing, and you don't bother me, right? You do your thing, I do my thing.
Okay, if you're starting out, obviously, it's very important. Like, it's very, very, very important. Because we've, like, knowing us, we've had a lot of instances where clients just ghost, run away. And we've done all the work. We've put in all the effort, and it's not even that. We've got people to pay. We've got a whole team behind us. So it's not only like, if you're starting out, bro, you're gonna lose a lot of money if you don't. And what would you say?
I think deposits for me, the way I see it is like a sense of trust. Right? Like if the client is able to trust us, an established company or an agency to do things for them, we need to receive some level of trust from the clients too.
100%.
Because we can't run away. It's pretty
100%.
much impossible for us to run away when we are that established, right? It's not just trust, it's things like before we come to a shoot, like if I got to rent out a studio, right, that money has to come from you first. And that's where I use part of your deposit to pay for the studio. Because if there's no deposit, I rent the studio and there's a no-show on the client's part and they ghost us, I just lost I didn't just lose the studio rental fee, I lost my opportunity cost. I lost my time, I lost my money bringing down my crew and all. So that's a lot of factors involved when we talk about deposit.
100%.
And we gotta definitely get it in so that the client knows that, hey, they got some money with us, they better freaking come down and shoot, man.
That's why we've learned now, that no work starts until the deposit is sent.
You know, I've had some clients ask me, why are your rates so high? And I just look at them and like, why are you so poor?
That's true. That's
right.
Very true. Yeah.
Because, I mean, okay, there's always that balance, right? But the whole concept is if you are able to pay more, we can bring you more value.
100%.
If you are able to increase your budget by just that $1,000, I can bring in maybe an extra person. And that extra person will speed things up, will save your time, will save my time, or you can get even more videos done. There's always that problem about why are some projects so expensive? Why do some budgets have to be so high? It's simply because there's so much requirements put into that one project, right? Like some things simply cannot be done one person as a one-man team, 100%. Right? We gotta have like 4 or 5, sometimes even 10. And I have to pay all these people, right? I can't just be like, all right, project's 1,000, I'm gonna get 10 people. Everybody eats $100 a day. Come on, man. That's
100%.
So that's why some projects, the budget is so high, and some clients, they understand because they see the value that we can bring them. What
clients need to know is they're making an investment. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna pay you. You know what I mean? It's an investment they're gonna make to make them more money. You know what I mean? So on a marketing end, especially when we do campaigns, in a campaign, you're not paying for a video. You're paying for the idea behind it. That way, we have to hire creatives. We have to hire the creative mind, producers, directors, and experts who will make you money. The clients know our value, especially with those clients that understand. We love you so much. We love you.
We love you.
For those that don't, go ahead, lose your money. Because you have the fucking wrong team, bro. You have the wrong team. You can't do everything yourself. If you are a client if you're a business owner that does all the marketing yourself, it may work, but you're not going to scale it. You're not going to scale your marketing. If you have an agency and it's not going viral, wrong team.
Yep.
Get us instead. You know what I mean? It's simple as that, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of components in social media marketing. Obviously, people don't understand that. It's people think it's just, oh, you know what? Like, it's just posting videos. Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
And you'll see that that's why it's not going viral, because a hook matters.
Yep.
Attention matters. Call to action matters. It's not all that. And the trends you have to keep up. Are you too late? Are you too early? Early, yes, good, very good.
Yes.
But that's all. Like, there's like those points I just said. It's 5%, 10% of what
it's just
it comes up to.
So small.
Exactly. So, like, clients have to understand that your content isn't going viral because these components are not being met.
The reason why your content isn't going viral
Yes.
is because you're not learning from your mistakes.
Yes. Oh, yes, really right.
Social media is this landscape that keeps changing. A lot of clients think, or a lot of businesses out there think that as long as I post a video every day, we're good to go. Right? Consistency is great. It's important.
Yep.
But social media is a lot of trial and error.
Yes.
Right? We need to understand how does the algorithm work well, and what kind of audience we want to get. If I'm a brand that has high value products,
you're not going to target anyone well.
I'm not going to target a certain income range because they simply cannot afford. Right? I'm looking for people who can afford me. Right? So there's a lot of trial and error there because the audience will always shift, the trends will always shift, and it's always good, especially when the brand is starting out, to figure out what works best for your branding and what works best for your audience.
The hook. A hook is not just the start of the video. You know, it's not just the start of any campaign, ad video, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's maintaining the audience's attention every second of the video. A hook is one of the most important things. And when I say hook, it's like, as I said, it's not just the start. It's every single second of the video.
Yep.
Having your targeted audience hooked onto your video the entire time is a very key component.
Yeah,
for sure. What do you think is important?
I think very similar to what you're saying is audience retention is so important, right? Like the hook, a lot of people have the misconception that the hook is the start of the video, right? Because of the way it's named, like the hook, right? It hooks in people, it reels in people, and then what? They just magically stay there and continue watching, right? The hook can only do so much. If you think of it as the starting of the video, the hook has to be the entire video.
Very, very important. Even if it's social media marketing.
Yes.
Even if it's Reels, even if it's TikTok, it's king. It shows that even skits.
Yeah.
On TikTok, you'll see entrepreneurs or all these influencers trying to do skits. It works.
Yeah.
Businesses doing skits, it works. You know what I mean? It works more than regular educational videos because different content, different types, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yes, it works so well because you're capturing the feeling of the consumer.
Story is king at the foundation level. You need the story to give you that skeleton, a framework of a video or a campaign, right? An entire campaign. You need to be able to tell something so people are captivated. They want to know what's going to happen next. But on a deeper level, when you go further, when you have that story established, right? We need to remember that visuals are just important too.
Yes.
Yeah. Once you have that story established, you have that visuals, right? Then it starts you start to think a little bit deeper of my media team. Can they capture my story in its proper essence, in a visual format, in an audio format? Because you can have a great story, but if you execute it poorly, it's gonna still do shit. On both ends, both works.
Yes.
Definitely. But it depends on what kind of branding you want to go for.
100%.
So we've seen that iPhone creates this organic content that it feels like it's filmed by anybody, right? It's basically the amateur look. And that's completely fine because some brands work very well, they thrive on that, right? Other brands, they require a certain level, like a certain level of cinematography or videography level or skills to be able to pull off the branding. And at the end of the day, it really, really matters what kind of branding that you have as a business owner and how you want to portray that. Whether it's more of an organic route, right, that you can really connect with certain types of audience out there, or if you want to go more for a professional looking route, that I've seen somehow it works a lot better on Instagram, right, as compared to iPhone. So the iPhone look is more for TikTok, and the professional look is more for Instagram. This is a weird trend that I found.
Especially from a marketing perspective as well. Like, people don't understand that content on Instagram and TikTok is different.
Yes,
You got to make two different contents, like for Instagram and TikTok, because Instagram is very how do you say it, formal and aesthetically pleasing.
yes,
TikTok is very informal and just do whatever you want. Like, in terms of how you're saying branding, like, there was a client that came up to me and he was saying, oh, I need this campaign to be exactly like Gucci. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, like we'll definitely do it 100%. We're not gonna like replicate it, we're not gonna exactly copy it, but we'll do what you want, obviously. And I was like, what's your budget? 400. 400,000, here it comes. $400.
You are doing yourself a disservice by putting $400 into your own branding. Yeah, that's to me. It doesn't matter much to me because that's your business, but it feels like you're disrespecting your business.
100%.
You're saying that your business marketing value is $400. That's terrible, man. Yeah, that's
100%.
like, if anything, especially if you're starting out, the second most important thing you should invest in is your branding. The first should be your product, definitely.
100%.
Yeah, right. Because if you have a good product but you have a terrible branding, you have terrible social media game, your good product's not going to go anywhere.
And no matter how much you believe that your product is good, you're not the consumer.
Exactly.
So even though your perception of your product might be different to me, you, anyone. Yeah. So like, it doesn't. Your product's first, marketing second.
That is correct.
Form that structure first. Have a plan A and a plan B. How you're gonna what's gonna go through. Planning is very important.
Yes.
Especially like what's gonna go through your week. What clients are gonna fit in through your week. Schedule, because you do it really well. I've seen yours as well. It's very important to have that set schedule, so that way your mind's not messed up. What you're getting paid. You gotta settle that in a contract. The structure of every single detail. Never leave a single detail out. That's how we structure all our clients. How are you?
For me, when we talk about like structuring, right, or even to the point of how to optimize workflows, right, for us, one of our USPs is that our speed is unparalleled. Like, there are many other companies out there who cannot match our speed. They simply cannot push out content as fast as we can.
100%.
It's always a lot about synchronization within the team and with
chemistry
the client,
as well.
right? Having that chemistry and understanding everybody's responsibilities. They know what they're supposed to do. So we have this very tight workflow with us that when we plan, we make sure that we plan everything out, we get everything settled. When we go on set, we finish everything fast, and then we hand off to our editor finishes it fast, and then we just go through our different vetting, our revisions, and close out the project. This is how we are able to like close like 10, 50, 100 clients in a month, right? This is how we are able to keep our business compact, yet expand at the same time, which is kind of contradictory, but I'm sure you get what I mean. Cinematic! What makes something cinematic?
Tell me what.
So, I think if we really go down to the details, right, there's a lot of things that make something cinematic. To me, at least, when we talk about a cinematic video, right, a lot of people throw this word around loosely, right? Oh, we'll come up with cinematic visuals for you. What the fuck does that mean, man? To me, at least, cinematic is like, it refers to cinema, like a movie, right? When the audience watches, right, you should feel like you're watching a freaking movie, but it's on your phone, it's on your computer, it's on YouTube. Is that as an audience, when you're sitting in that theater, you feel like you're in that video, you're in that film. You feel like, let's say you're fighting against like this person in a war, right? You feel like you're there, you understand the emotions, the feelings. And to me, at the end of the day, making something cinematic is essentially transporting your audience to whatever scene that you're shooting,
100%.
right? To make your audience feel like they're there on set, looking at everything, they're like, wow, I'm really here.
So basically in Singapore, I'd say it's a very corporate game. It's very saturated. As well as those who are trying to make a marketing agency in Singapore, it's not catering globally, and it's not reaching the audience like the clients deserve.
Yeah.
I'd say that yes, some people do it right, some people do it really well, but some like companies and stuff like that, you need to market it globally.
Yeah.
You can't just market it to a certain audience in Singapore. And also, I'd say that compared to Melbourne, Melbourne's very, how do you say it? It's very relaxed. It's very like, just how it's going, like, you know what I mean? Like the ads and content in Melbourne is very informal, you could say, and it's very fun to watch.
In Singapore, right, so we have this very big difference between Singapore and Melbourne in terms of like the culture and the way that people live. I can't speak much for Melbourne, definitely. But in Singapore, like we have this very, in a sense, conservative society, right? And a lot of us are very kept to ourselves. So when we do things like street interviews, right, these are very difficult to do. So difficult to do.
Very hard. Very hard.
Because so many people don't want to be on camera.
Yes, 100%.
Right. And I've seen many other countries out there, especially on the Western side, where there's more of like an individualistic culture.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, definitely. So many people are so ready and happy to be on camera, right? And it's so easy to conduct street interviews, right?
It's one of my most challenging moves I've done in my life, but it was a decision I made because it's a good market, especially in Singapore, because marketing is very different here, and it was also hard because of the culture shock. Not only the culture shock, but the people that I'm trying to work with. Yeah. Collaborating is, I mean, luckily you were really nice, you were really good.
Yeah.
but most of the people that I've reached out to, it's very conservative. It's very, very hard to conversate and stuff. But we've done really well. We're moving at a really rapid speed because we've created a team. Having that team beside me and having the chemistry, it really just puzzled everything up together, and it just made the move really smooth. And we've done a lot in just a few months. I feel like Singapore editing is very out, like how do you say it? How do you say very like bold and obvious?
In your face.
Very in your face.
Yeah.
So in terms of subtle and engaging editing, really works out better in Singapore that we grabbed from Melbourne. So obviously it's important to have that one person in the videos all the time.
Yeah.
But having others collaborate with you, like just say your customers, your clients, like talk to them, show them that you're transparent, show them that you're friendly, and you know what I mean. So like most of the content here is very stuck up, if I'm being honest. Yeah. And people aren't willing to. They've got things to say, but they don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to bring from Melbourne, like in terms of making them comfortable enough to just talk on camera, getting clients in with the videos as well.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's a fun thing to do, especially on the client side and on the business side.
So if there's one thing that you want to bring over from Melbourne and put into Singapore, kind of introduce it to the Singapore market, what would that one thing be?
The spontaneity from Melbourne, very important. Like how spontaneous they are in videos and the energy that they give off. There's a couple people in Singapore that pull it off really well, and I love that. And soon, hopefully, we'll collaborate with them as well. But in terms of, I want to tell my clients you have to be more spontaneous. I want to bring a culture that, like, my clients will bring a different side of energy to people in Singapore. You know what I mean? So that way, when we interact with, say, the public, they'll feel more comfortable and you know what I mean. It'll be more spontaneous in the videos. Because obviously, people like spontaneity in all content. How did my team adapt to the new market? No time wasted. wasted no time at all.
Yeah.
As soon as we landed, like we basically, before we came here, we planned it out the whole way. We planned what we're gonna do, what clients we're gonna get. We attained our clients before I even went to Singapore.
Yeah.
We planned every single content we were gonna shoot beforehand. We shot Hyperia content before I left Singapore. As soon as I could drop down in Singapore, 3 a.m. at 10 a.m. I was out shooting straight away. My team helped me a lot. Like it made it really smooth in terms of our chemistry together, especially with my manager being, you know, we've known each other for a really long time. but yeah, like it was just we just wasted no time, like being here and just got straight to it. In Singapore, I've noticed that there's a lot of influencer marketing in terms of hiring influencers to, you know,
Yeah.
and it does work. We have hopped on that a couple of times with other clients, and it works to an extent. There was one client that used before they came with me, they did influencer marketing. Out of the 5 influencers that they got, 2 of them only got 200 views. 200 views, and they didn't convert as much as before. But I mean, it works, but sometimes it won't. You know what I mean? So you're taking a risk. So.
Yeah, it's a big risk, right?
Yeah. It's just seeing that process from the start to the current time, where you've been at the start. Even from looking at it from where you first started to the whole journey from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the most rewarding thing is that you get to experience a whole different community, and you just know you're overcoming obstacles every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because I get to bring knowledge to a different area, and it brings a whole like new sense of hope to people in Singapore, like the people I work with, them gaining new like intel from an outside perspective, an outside consumer looking into content or marketing in Singapore.
Yeah. And it hit me again, right? They said, success is sweeter when it takes 10 years. 10 years. When we talk about the long game, when you see the vision of it happening in a year, in 5, in 10 years, right? And when you get to that point...
I'm happy that this will be a long process. Yeah. Like, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was definitely not overnight.
Definitely not.
And in the long run, hopefully it'll you know...
It'll pay off.
Yeah, it'll pay off.
Yeah.
Hopefully, guys.
And this is just the start.
This is just the start.
Just the start.
This is just the start. Even though it took us fucking 5 years, it's just the start. It was a lot of old money type of businesses like logistics, agriculture that approached.
Yeah.
Which is very fascinating. Despite the old money, the old mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we don't have the old money type of thing in Melbourne, obviously. Like, it's not a place, but in Singapore there's a lot. The Crazy Rich Asians and all of that. And it's really surprising because normally we know that the old mindset, oh fuck, there's social media stuff, you know, all of that. So I was really surprised coming here. And it's also rewarding in terms of experiencing that side of life. And experience it with them and the way they communicate with people. Because when I work with these type of clients, they not only just, okay, I'll work with you and bang. It's for them to create relationships with someone. Okay, work with me, we'll go out to dinner. Yeah. And then we'll go do this. Let's go play golf tomorrow. And that's how they create relationships with other people. That's what us as 21st century businessmen should do. As a business move, we decided to have it as 2 separate entities because it will just be easier for us on a budgeting perspective and a planning perspective. But yeah, in the long run, hopefully, we've got a few plans coming up. Yeah, a lot of big plans coming up. So yeah, you guys just have to stay tuned for that. Only do it if you have balls. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're willing to sacrifice everything, do it. Sacrifice all your time, all your effort, all your everything, do it. You need to have balls. Don't waste any time while you're international. When you're abroad, don't waste time. What I did was like go to the country you want to branch out in as a practice. Go see how the market is. Connect with people first. Gain your networks, gain your connections before soft launching it to another country, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it takes a certain amount of like grit, right, and strength and courage and perseverance to be able to really pull it off. But I think like when we talk about these kind of things, when there's a lot of risk involved, right, most of the time the reward is very high.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and definitely for you, I'm very sure it'll pay off tenfold, man.
Thanks, boss.
Definitely.